Frostbite Caves can frostbite my nuts. It is a world so long and cold that it would give Chill Bill himself a chill. But before we get into that, why don't you like and subscribe so I can eventually fulfill my lifelong dream of owning a house. Frostbite Caves opens on day 1, where we breeze past this level with no issue whatsoever before moving straight on to day 2, which was another by the numbers Plants vs Zombies day. But these zombies reminded me of something. I remember once I encountered somebody watching GB News, and one of the presenters just decided to drop a slur. The reason why this day reminded me of this occasion was because the zombies kind of look like your average GB News or Fox News presenter. Besides right-wing stupidity, day 2 was beaten on our first attempt. Day 2 was followed by day 3, where we once again encountered Chill Bill, who is looking extra chill today. Continuing on to day 4, we made a vital discovery. The fan stool actually likes to play with their bean, and they actually activate the spring bean from afar when they bring a zombie in. But this bean flicking is perfectly balanced out by the fact that our fan stool actually defrosts other plants quicker than the hot potato by rapidly tonguing the ice. With the toadstool licking the ice, we beat day 4 with ease and moved straight on to day 5, which was a Chill Bill day once again. Our brief chilling with Bill was then followed by day 6, where we had most of our plants picked for us. But unfortunately, we failed this day due to the harsh blowing we received from the developers, who apparently now had fans of their own which could freeze all of our plants in place. In the end, we did manage to beat this day on our second attempt by moving our chosen plants a few tiles forward, giving us enough room to place some plants behind them to defrost them. Continuing on to day 7, we had yet another easy day, where I had to recite the words of Plato to just stay sane. I like that boulder, that is a nice boulder. Thanks to the immense intelligence of Plato, we beat day 7 with ease and can move straight on to day 8, where we have another chilling session with Bill before moving on to day 9, where we meet yet another new zombie type, the dildo zombie. What this zombie does is it eats my ass until I am no more. So in order to stop this immense power, I had to recall the time my mayonnaise jar farted in order to power up my fans. In the end, we managed to beat this day on our first attempt. Day 10 was yet another day where Chill Bill chilled, but this time he had his pickle out. So we ran straight to day 11, which was a day that actually gave us a challenge for no discernible reason other than the sheer amount of zombies on screen at once. I don't know how I managed to beat this day with what is perhaps the strangest setup in PvZ history, but we did manage to beat it on our first attempt. This was followed by day 12, which was a plan your defenses day, where I finally decided to bust out my primal pea shooter for its knockback ability before failing the day instantaneously. On our second attempt, I made the big brain move to do the exact same strategy all over again, but this time I left some room to plant some plants behind my defenses for when they inevitably freezed over, and with this genius move, we managed to beat this day on our second attempt. You may now congratulate me for my intellect in the comments below. Day 13 was a day where we had to protect these stupid fucking flowers, but since it was such an easy day, I have a little story to tell you instead. Let me set the scene. Me and Amy were at this house viewing, and we saw a little tree house, but it was just a sad chair on a tree, and we notice it's facing an upstairs window of another house, and Amy just goes, they could have been a peeping Tom. The person showing us this house was very clearly not impressed, and on our walk back into the property, I just hear a sad little, well, they could have been, behind me. I was both internally screaming and laughing my ass off. This was the funniest shit I've seen all week. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, day 13 was beat on our first attempt. Continuing on to day 14, it was a day where we had to beat it with given plants before moving straight on to day 15, where we had to protect some endangered plants. But it was yet another unremarkable day, so instead, I just decided to go get a nap. Good night, chat. Good morning, chat. It seems we're on day 16 since Chill Bill is staring at me longingly, so I'm just going to move straight on to day 17, where we are greeted with a bunch of plants that were already placed. So instead of covering this day, I decided that now is the perfect time to mention all of these worlds are streamed over at twitch.tv/Whoie, so why don't you come and give me a follow, or I'll send Chill Bill after you. Day 17 was followed by day 18, where Chill Bill returns, and then we move on to day 19, which was a day that had most of our plants already already picked for us. I thought this day would pose a bit more of a challenge, but it turns out it was just another easy day. And the same goes for day 20, which was also followed by yet another chill bill day on day 21. Fortunately, day 22 actually gives me normal things to talk about, such as the internal organ placement of weasels. On this day, we are once again introduced to the Weezer zombie, who, for some reason, absolutely refused to release a single weasel, making this day a lot more easy than I remembered, but I'm just going to put this down to pure luck. Continuing on to day 23, I decided I didn't want to talk about it since it was easy and boring, but day 24 was a day that finally gave us a bit of trouble. It was a day where we had to produce 2.5 thousand sun with our beloved fan stool. Unfortunately, the fan stool does not produce anywhere near that amount of sun, even when only using the fan stool for the whole day and not killing a single zombie with anything else. Needless to say, we had to think outside the box for this one, so instead of just using the fan stool, I had to once again bust out my golden leaf and place it beneath the fan stools. With this strategy and a good luck call from an estate agent on stream, we managed to beat this day on our second attempt. This was followed by yet another chill bill day on day 25 and day 26, which was a day we managed to vanquish with a massive amount of fan stool spamming. Entering the final few days, we beat day 27 on our first attempt with some more cans of spam, and day 28 was a plan your defenses day where we once again encounter the Weezer zombie. Unfortunately, this time they released their log and a whole bunch of Weezers came after me, screaming Buddy Holly. Towards the end of the day, one Weezer slipped through my defenses and ate my big brain ball. This day was some utter horseshit due to the amount of Weezers on screen at once, but after many failed attempts, I came up with a new plan. I upgraded my time warp to level 10 and kept digging up all my plants in every lane that had no zombies before spamming the time warp to buy me enough time to take down all the members of Weezer. This awesome new strategy allowed me to beat this day on my third attempt. With the final proper day out the way, we move on to day 29, which was a pre-picked plant day before going in to fight the Zomboss, where we call down our good old friend, YouTube commenter MadAnder2, who smites down the Zomboss with their critical thinking skills and ability to Google the flaws of capitalism. If you want to assist me on the next Zomboss, be sure to comment either your pizza order or a small bit of fanfiction about Willem Dafoe down in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next episode of OnlyFans. Hey guys, seeing that we're 10 seconds short of our usual runtime, welcome to Salt Review, where we're reviewing coarse sea salt from the Spice Emporium. We've got a bit here, and I'm just gonna... Just for clarity, I didn't actually snort it, so here we go. Yeah, that's definitely salt. I'll give that a salt out of 10.